Hey everybody, Neil here with a big bad movie show, and today I'm here all alone. So I decided that I would do a couple episodes of The Muppet Babies. And so I wanted to do the first couple episodes, and I looked around online, and every episode every version of these episodes I could find were like some crappy syndicated recut of the episode where there are chunks taken out and it's got the wrong intro and everything. And I'm like, oh, this is unacceptable. So I looked around, and on archive.org, there is a playlist called Jim Henson's Muppet Babies Fan Remastered. This is the original broadcast version. Somebody restored it, and they are a saint, and I love you for doing this. Okay, so the thing about this series, why it's never had a home video release, like a full DVD set, or like really, or even like streaming on a service somewhere, is that all of the copyright footage that's in the show, but from what I've seen, it's largely either like public domain stuff like wartime footage, or it'll be like Lucasfilm stuff. Now I understand that it's a lot of ground to cover with all the episodes, and a lot of episodes do have like licensed stuff from other shows, but a good chunk of it is Lucasfilm. So I wonder if it would at least be possible to get some of them out there, like just the ones that have predominantly Lucasfilm and public domain footage. Sometimes I wonder if Disney's just going to try to buy everything, so that someday they can finally have that complete Muppet Babies streaming episode set out there.
What do you see, Kermie?
Uh-oh, I think we've been spotted.
So the theme of the show, of course, is that these kids have really vivid imaginations, and everything they do in their imagination also has a real world component. So the couch is a battleship, and did you see that, Pan? I'll acknowledge that in a second, but yeah, the couch is like a battleship, and the box is a submarine. So you'll notice that whenever you see like a left to right pan in this show, that there's kind of like this weird wobbly effect, and it seems that like some of the scan lines are out of sync with each other, so it'll have this like weird, like I said, the wobbling effect. And what I think that is, if I had to suspect, it's probably the interlacing from the old NTSC broadcasts causing that to happen. Howie Mandel is Skeeter.
Just a minute, Skeeter. I thought I was the captain.
I heard a story about Howie Mandel that he couldn't carry a tune in a bucket if he wanted to. So what they had to do was get a trained singer to sing along with him, so that he would listen to them in the headphones, and then he would sing along in tandem, and that's how he would stay in key. And it was like just good enough for him to, pass.
Ow! Hey! Somebody stepped on my nose!
Stepped on his nose. I was so busy watching my step that I stepped on my watch. See? Oh, look at this animation. Look how good that is. That's some good stuff. Of course, you won't see that again very much throughout the remainder of the series. Now, this right here where Kermit looks up and says, "Hi, Nanny," that's one of the shots that is cut out of the syndicated cuts.
Our next door neighbor, Officer Carruthers, just called. He thought maybe you were building a freeway in here.
The first time I watched this, I thought Officer Carruthers was going to be a main component of the show. Like he was this neighbor who was constantly upset by the kids making a lot of racket and just being a nuisance to him, like Mr. Wilson, right? But he never comes back. He's only talked about in this episode. You never actually see him. So I often wondered if like something happened to him, like maybe he moved away, or fell in the line of duty, perhaps.
Maybe he'll send us all to jail. Or give us a one-way ticket to the Twilight.
Gonzo sounds kind of weird in this show, in this early episode, I mean.
All over our faces and forgets the great jelly.
What?
Now
Was Fozzie's idea there any more out there than what the rest of them were thinking? Like they're all thinking that the cops are gonna come over and throw them in jail for some reason.
Right! Come on, you guys. We gotta clean this place up. Say,
We gotta
Animal,
clean this
grab
place
that
up.
leg, would you?
Sometimes Kermit kind of devolves back into Frank Welker. Oh, here also the show cuts back in where Gonzo goes diving at Animal, and you just see the chair leg in his mouth. But you didn't see what happened before that, so it was just like, what the hell?
Hey, Animal! Why did the chicken cross the road?
That's about where I was just like, I've had enough. I can't do this.
Not the joke.
Hey, Fuzzy,
And I
forget
found
it.
the
We
uncut
need to shut
version.
him up, not crack him up.
If you want a job done right, give it to a pig.
So, oh, you know what? I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the passing of Bob McGrath, the longtime actor from Sesame Street. I believe one of the original cast members going all the way back to 1969. So he had a good long run on that show. Had a good long run at life. Oh my god, I can't believe this. Hello. You don't say. You don't say. You don't say. You don't say. All right, goodbye. You know who that was? They didn't say.
You rang, milady? No, I whistled. I want some more chocolates.
All right, so where were we?
Some sundae, some bubble gum, and a double cheeseburger with fries. Talk about
So
how.
another reason I would love to
There will be
have
no
a
wisecracks during
more
my
official release of this is that
show. Palace was not
a lot of these background paintings are kind of washed out in this terrible, degraded VHS recording of the show that also has MPEG compression compounding the problem. So I would really love like a legitimate release of this, but my fear is that we would get it and it would just be like the syndicated cuts. You know, like a lot of DVDs come out that are like that, like of old shows. Like there's that problem with the Ren and Stimpy DVDs. Like some of the phony commercials are missing, and the whole bloody head fairy scene is missing from one episode.
You're spoiling my concentration. Now, where was I? Oh yes. So, in response to Princess Piggy's royal challenge
To slay the dragon.
knights in the kingdom, Sir Kermit, Sir Fozzie, and Sir Gonzo. Ta-da!
Gonzo always had a thing for Miss Piggy. At least in the early days.
But Sir
It seemed like after a while he was more into Camilla, but of course, Miss Piggy never really lost her hatred for Gonzo.
Oh, Piggy, is that Fozzie's sword? But he hasn't
Sword.
had a chance. I know.
Is the joke here that they're dumb kids and they don't know how to say words? They take the spelling literally. Also, that's kind of a mean thing to do to Fozzie. Like, Miss Piggy
Stop it.
never really had an issue with Fozzie. It was always Gonzo.
I know that. All I have to do is write a couple of killer jokes, and when he's doubled over with laughter, waka waka waka. I hope.
Good luck.
That's a very Muppety dragon, by the way. Whenever the
Here we go.
designers had to come up with new background characters and incidental creatures and stuff for this show, they did a very good job at making Muppet-like characters.
Oh,
The choy chow mein is quick cooked in dragon fire.
this one will kill you. What did the big dragon say to the mouse? Give up? Nothing.
Because dragons can't talk. A lot of this episode sticks out in my head very vividly. I remember so much of this. I think I had my own copy of this on VHS. Like, I was so excited for the show that I recorded it and watched it on repeat, like all kids do.
Get ready to kiss me hello, Princess Piggy, and kiss that dragon goodbye.
Good luck, Gonzo. Gee, he's got a lot of guts for a little blue weirdo.
Okay. Buster. I throw down my gauntlet
And my Sabaton too.
duel, and I shall smite you with my saber. And say
I always got to get that honky fart noise in there whenever something happens to Gonzo's nose. Now he sounds a bit more like Gonzo's supposed to sound in the series.
Don't worry, Gonzo.
That is a photograph of a tow truck that they plopped into the show here. I love that they do that. They have a lot of photo cutouts that they use as props in the animation. It makes the show very charming and stand out among the other shows that are on at the same time.
Fair princess.
Which was a lot of crap, by the way. A lot of the other shows that are on around the same time are really, really terrible. And this one was just marvelous. No pun intended. Let's see what was on around the same time. Saturday Supercade, the Mr. T cartoon, Alvin and the Chipmunks. Ugh. Officer Carruthers. What is he got the phone right by his bedside? That was really fast. He's got Nanny on speed dial.
Turn out the lights.
We've got to escape before they find
By the way, what is the living arrangement here? When I was little and I was watching the show, because they have a nanny and they all kind of play together in a nursery, I thought that the situation was that they had parents and that they drop them off in the morning and pick them up in the evening. But in later episodes, we see that they actually live here. Like they have a crib and everything. So it's like they're foster kids or something. They're orphans, and Nanny is their legal guardian. It never quite spells it out, but that seems to be the way it is.
Why are the lights out?
Well, we didn't want the police to catch. I mean, we didn't want to waste electricity.
Officer Carruthers called again.
He did?
Mm-hmm. And you know what he said?
What?
What?
He said that you woke him up again.
We did?
It wasn't my fault, Nanny. I don't want to go to jail. Don't let him take me, please.
Now, Fozzie, there's nothing to worry about.
Silly Fozzie.
Isn't?
Not if you're quiet so we can sleep, don't you think
Nothing
that's
bad will
okay?
happen as long as you stay quiet.
Good idea. Good idea.
There must be something we can do to keep Animal quiet.
Yeah, if only there was something that would put him to sleep.
How about a sledgehammer?
Hey,
It's an
that's
awfully
it.
violent joke
Gee,
for a
Ralph,
kid's
we don't
cartoon.
even have a
The color
sledgehammer.
grading keeps
Not that.
changing. Like,
This.
I presume that this is actually reassembled
Music.
by the fans. Like, this is not just some print that they found.
Idea, Ralph.
This appears to be from multiple sources. It's very well put together.
I want to do the singing.
No.
Oh,
let me
Skeeter, you
sing.
can't do the singing. Your voice actor doesn't know how.
Hit it, Ralph.
Jesus. This is a lullaby?
Kid, I'm gonna tell you about the latest craze.
Okay, I gotta say something about the songs in Muppet Babies. I do not like them. Of course, I don't like songs in cartoons in general. At least not anything in the last, 60, 70 years. Just because, I don't know, there hasn't been like good music in cartoons since like the Looney Tunes. Also, when you have to compose a song for every single episode of a series, oh look, Animals Got Rabies. Most of them are going to be duds. Also, the actors are singing in their cartoon voices, which doesn't lend very well to making them any more listenable.
Listen to the music playing in your head.
This is the opposite of being quiet, what they're doing right here. Sleep Rock USA. The song that we play when we want you to be quiet. They forget that Animal is a drummer. Guess who called again?
What on earth have you been doing?
Rock. Sleep rock.
putting Animal under the carpet.
Officer Carruthers called again.
He did?
He didn't sound very happy.
He
He
didn't?
said to tell you kids that he's not calling anymore.
He's not?
He said if you wake him up again, he'll just come over here and speak with you personally.
Personally?
No.
See, that stuff is
Try to
just
be
burned into my
quiet,
head.
Okay?
Okay.
That's better.
Well, so much for singing Animal to sleep.
We've got to figure out some way to keep him quiet. Quiet. Quiet.
Come on, you
Have
guys.
you tried
Think.
tryptophan?
I know. There's only one thing that will
That was a
keep
weird
Animal
take.
Quiet. Television.
There you go. The electronic babysitter.
This is Clyde Crumpet with the morning news. Yesterday's South American earthquake.
Hey, that's not Frank Welker. A lot of the incidental characters are Frank. What the hell's going on here? They're levitating. Anyway, a lot of the incidental characters are in the show are usually Frank Welker. Like right here.
To New York City.
Jesus.
Oh boy, this is my favorite. Look, up in the
See, Gonzo sounds so weird in this episode.
No.
His voice is so much lower than it normally would be. Okay, this is kind of a cheat. Like, this does not follow the rules normally within Muppet Babies, where there's a real life counterpart to what their imagination is. Like, where did he go? And what's the real world equivalent to what he's doing right now?
Me? I'm Cluck Kent, ace reporter for the world's biggest newspaper.
Gonzo's voice got really low there for a second. Oh, listen to the music in the background. This is a fart noise on the nose. That was a very almost copyright infringy parody version of the Superman theme. It's even like arranged the same way. It was barely a parody. Oh, Great Muppet Caper.
That's Piggy Lane, my co-reporter at the Daily Muppet. Boy, am I wild about her.
Boy, am I gonna creep on her.
Show it. Cluck, I think I'm in love. Me too.
I was really excited for the show because, you know, you hear that there's gonna be a Muppet cartoon, and it's like, oh, what the hell's that gonna be like? Because the Muppets are already kind of like cartoon characters,
If I could only,
and I knew that Jim Henson
but I can't.
kind of had like a baseline for quality that he expected. So like, it wasn't just gonna be crap like the other cartoons.
To act fast. But how could I change into my super suit without giving away
See, listen how weird he sounds.
What will we do? Don't worry, Miss Lane. I'll go up and see if I can put the brakes
In
on.
fact, his need for the highest quality was the reason why Little Muppet Monsters was canceled so quickly. He's just like, oh, this isn't up to our expectations.
Where was I?
I believe you were plunging to certain doom.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good take. Yeah, Little Muppet Monsters was interesting because it was Saturday morning Muppets, the real Muppets, you know, Jim Henson, Jerry Nelson, and Rich Hunt, and all those guys. But it only lasted 3 episodes, and then they just doubled up on the season 1 episodes of Muppet Babies to make an hour's worth of Muppet Babies. I think they could have stuck with it, because even like a bad episode of the Muppets is still better than most of what was on TV at the time. I was going through the other shows that were on. Smurfs was another one around the same time. Just tons of garbage.
What happened, Miss Lane? While you were up there playing with the elevator, Super Gonzo made.
I don't know what this says about Gonzo, that even in his fantasy, he's kind of a loser,
I couldn't
and Piggy doesn't
stand it
like
any
him.
longer.
But he also has it that his alter ego,
And I gotta tell you,
that she's into the super version of Gonzo.
Boring! Boring! Animal! No!
Oh, now we're doing King Kong.
Hey, cut that out! You can't barge in on my super story. Isn't that right, Miss Lane?
Isn't that right, Miss Lane? That's a weird take.
Help! Help! Super Gonzo, help! Help! Let me go, you animal! Animal! Oh no! I've got to save her! There must be some place to change around here. Excuse me.
It's really stylized comic book style backgrounds. They had the dot shading and everything.
I'm telling jokes to my agent. Ready for this one, Bernie? What do you get when you cross a blueberry with a pancake? Ready?
Blueberry pancakes.
Blueberry pancakes! How'd you know? Well, I thought it was funny.
It's like a Blanchard joke.
This is a job for Super Gonzo.
Oh, that's the sound of the Transformers being infected by the hate plague.
Look, up there!
That's a very Muppety guy right there. Almost looks like a Fraggle.
Telephone booth.
Someone save me. Hang on, Miss.
Oh, there was also a Fraggle Rock cartoon, which was not so good.
Hello? This is the operator.
That's about the best I could say about that cartoon is that it wasn't very good, and it was canceled really quickly.
Oh, I'm sorry. This flight will have to be disconnected.
I don't know why they didn't just, like, make the Fraggle Rock show for Saturday morning, like the one that already existed. Just, I don't know, maybe retime it for broadcast TV and just put it on NBC. I don't know why they had to make a cartoon. See, listen to this. That is definitely the John Williams Superman theme. Just a little off key. Just doing a drum solo on his forehead.
Oh no! The only thing I'm powerless against. Green crypto socks.
My only weakness.
Green socks. Green socks. Green socks.
Jesus, animal.
Officer Carruthers called again.
Uh-oh, I knew that wasn't my agent on the phone.
He's gonna come over and handcuff us.
And take us away to the station.
Or the
And put us in the chair.
No. He called to say that he's leaving for work now.
We're gonna get
So
lethal
you can make
injection.
all the noise you want.
Oh, gee, that's really swell, Nanny.
Have a nice time.
Gee, now there's nothing to worry about. We can make all the noise we want.
Now we have this freedom now that we could do whatever we want.
Ready, Ralph?
Let's
I'm ready. You ready?
show how little we appreciate it.
Scooter's ready.
I'm ready.
What are we waiting for?
Okay, gang, let's do it.
Perfect way to end the show. Listen to this. This is how doo-woppy this is. This outro theme, which is really just the Muppet Babies theme without the lyrics, this was so hard to find, impossible to find, in fact, for decades, because after Little Muppet Monsters was canceled, they still used the Muppet Monsters version of the outro. So you didn't hear that Muppet Babies season 1 version, well, until the internet. So anyway, that was episode number 1. We're gonna jump into episode 2 right now. So this intro was also something that was very hard to find for a while, because the later seasons, and especially the syndicated run, would chop it up, insert new footage, and most importantly, chop it down so that you wouldn't even get the full song. So for a long time, it was very difficult to get this version, this clean original version. I can't sing at all.
I play the piano.
Yeah, I still can't tell what he's saying. Oh, one of the later season openings, there's a scene of Bunsen and Beaker as like native savages, and Beaker's got like a bone through his nose. I saw that, I was like, eee. Do the collar thing. Ew. Now listen to the somber title theme. You never hear this again. It's the only episode of the early seasons that has that. And I just remembered that standing out, because this is kind of a somber episode. There's a lot of anxiety over what happens to Fozzie in this episode, because going to the dentist was kind of a very scary thing. Now, I don't know if you saw that just now, but I've been noticing that every now and then, that there's there's like a line of tape to where they tape the film footage together that appears. I don't remember seeing that when it originally aired, but I imagine it was there. I just didn't notice.
Oh, great. My imagination won't start.
Oh, this is like Fozzie's having problems with like that guy in the pod race scene from Phantom Menace. By the way, you know goddamn well that if this series had come out after episode 1, they would absolutely use footage from Phantom Menace in this.
That's better.
Sometimes I wonder what Jim Henson would have thought of the prequels. Because he was a good friend with George Lucas. Like, yeah, I don't know, George. I think you kind of missed the mark here. And I would know about that because I made Labyrinth.
Make way for Gonzo Granatelli, the fastest driver.
That's not fair. Labyrinth was okay. Just didn't really find its audience until later.
I must have taken a wrong turn.
Uh-oh, I'm running low on fuel. Better pull into the pit.
Frank Welker just did one of his pterodactyl screeches there. Animal is much more under control in this episode. Gonzo ruining a perfectly good waste paper basket. Nancy's not, or Nancy. Oh, Jesus Christ. I was gonna say Nanny is not gonna be very happy with that. She's gonna have to call Officer Carruthers on Gonzo. Live action footage just paused on the motion blur. Frank Welker doing another incidental voice. I wonder how Scooter and Skeeter built up enough momentum to go up that ramp like that just a moment ago.
I've got to look my best in the winner's circle.
No!
So I wonder how these kids don't get hurt more often. Oh no, we're gonna end up like Dale Earnhardt. Or Toonses.
The winner by a nose.
Winner by a nose. You gotta get the farty noise in there.
Is everyone okay?
Oh, I've got a loose tooth.
That's a long way to go to get to the loose tooth angle of this episode.
If Nanny finds out,
Like how long was that? It was
dentist for sure.
that was like 4 minutes into the episode.
Quick, get me some glue. I'll glue it in tight again.
Ah, Fozzie, I know just how you feel. I heard about this guy who went to the dentist.
Yeah?
And
His dentist was named Dr. Toothacher.
Drilled.
it was radical.
No, it's Isaac Yankum.
They dug into the cavity.
Dynamite.
Blasted.
Oh!
By the way, is Isaac Yankum canon to Kane
You want to hear the
for
part about when
WWF?
he struck oil?
WWE rather?
Listen to Gonzo, Fozzie. Going to the dentist isn't really bad.
Like that should have been a chapter of the Kane book. Was that the whole side story about Kane going to his parents, telling them he wanted to be a dentist?
Nanny's coming.
She is?
I want to be a dentist.
I gotta hide.
Is everything okay? I thought I heard a crash.
You know, if Fozzie had just not tried to hide, if he just stood there and didn't say anything,
I'm hiding from Nanny. I don't
Nanny
want you to
wouldn't
find
have
out about my...
figured this out so
What he
quickly.
meant was, he's helping me tune my piano.
Ow, 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 ow.
So the toy
Oh,
piano has
toes.
the
Fozzie,
string
open
and
wide and
piano
say,
keys
"Ah."
in it.
Ah.
So that's
Oh my
why
God,
you're
you only have one
hiding.
tooth,
I'm
Fozzie.
afraid we're going to have to go to the dentist and have that loose tooth checked out. I'll make an appointment.
Nanny's fashion sense is
Oh, no.
something.
What am I gonna do?
I know a way Fozzie won't have to go to the dentist.
Yeah?
We'll pull his tooth out for him.
Oh,
Yeah.
great idea.
What? I don't know if
We'll just
that's
tie a
such
string
good
around your
idea.
tooth and the other end to a doorknob.
Don't
Jesus.
worry, Fozzie.
How much
I'll
of
get that
this
tooth out
how
for
much
you.
of this nursery gets wrecked over the course
You
of the
sure
series?
this is gonna work, Kermit?
I'm sure I'm sure. In a few seconds, all your troubles will be over. Okay, Piggy, full speed ahead.
Right, Kermie?
I used to think that the window was like across from the stairs that lead into the nursery, but apparently it's off to the side. And it's been fairly consistent so far. But I don't know if... Oh, jeez, that was a weird face that he just made. I don't know if they changed it later, but I could have sworn that it was like on the opposite side of the room from the doorway. Of course, there's always like these. There's also like these twists and turns all over the nursery. It seems to change. Seems to change over the course of the series. The floor plan. It's all these rooms and
It got
twists
away.
and turns and corners everywhere.
No, it didn't.
Look, damage to the wall.
To go to the dentist.
Don't worry, Fozzie. We'll get your tooth out.
No! Don't come any closer! You guys are dangerous!
Gee, he'll never let us pull that tooth out now.
I know a story that'll make him change his mind. You don't want to go to the dentist, Fozzie. If you do, the tooth fairy won't come.
Tooth fairy?
Yeah, see? When your tooth falls out and you put it under your pillow, the tooth fairy
Peanuts.
comes and leaves you money.
Money?
Uh-huh.
See, guys, we'll entice him with greed. It's an interesting background. The
Phew, this is
it's like a
mine. Next
white
time
pencil
I'll
drawing
take
on
him
black
with
paper.
us.
What? Who are you?
You were expecting Boy George.
Now, a lot of people got upset about the new Muppet Babies, where
Okay.
Gonzo had an episode where he dressed up in like a fairy dress and everything. But look at this.
$1,000,000?
Look who the Tooth Fairy
I
is.
just got a quarter.
Hey, where's the tooth?
Oh, it's not out yet.
I'm working on it.
Pal, no tooth, no bucks.
Huh?
Fozzie, think what you could do with all that money.
Yeah, with $1,000,000, he could buy some good jokes.
Now punch yourself in the face and knock your tooth out.
That's right. With $1,000,000, I could buy all kinds of funny joke stuff, like a rubber chicken, a whoopee cushion, a squirting flower. Tooth fairy, wait!
You know, when I was a kid, I never really bought into the Tooth Fairy.
When my tooth comes out,
I mean, the
I'll mail it to you.
Easter Bunny and Santa Claus, you know, that was believable, but the Tooth Fairy was just like, wait a minute, why does this bitch want my tooth? And why is she giving me money? What's the exchange rate here? What is the value of the tooth?
Hi there. I hear you got a loose tooth. Now, I'm prepared to pay you $2 million for it.
$2 million? You could have it.
The money's all yours.
Now, if you were an
Now, hand
if you were
over
an
the
African
tooth.
elephant,
I've just got to have that tooth. Take my diamonds, they're worth
the fantasy is already off the rails here.
You can have my oil wells, $10,000,000 worth.
Oh, my!
I'll give you $20 million.
Hey, I got here first. Listen, Bear, I'll give you 30 million. 50 million.
100 billion.
500 trillion.
$1 billion, million, billion dollars. And That's my final offer.
I'm rich! I'm rich! Hey guys, I gotta get this tooth out so I could leave it under my pillow for the tooth fairy.
Hey, way to go,
Yeah,
Skeeter.
we tricked
Your
him.
story worked great.
Come on, Fuzzy. Piggy will help you get it out.
No way! You just want to get my reward money. Stay away from me,
Reward
you-
money.
You tooth robbers.
Wanted
What's gotten
teeth.
into you, Fuzzy? We just want to help.
Oh yeah, sorry, Ralph. I didn't mean it, fellas. Of course you can help me get it out. But how?
I'll tell
But
you
how?
With my new computer program. It's got 64
Oh, great.
bytes.
Cartoon computers. Scooter's like, watch me type here.
Looks like it's 65 bytes now.
No, not that kind of byte. Computer bytes. Brain power. Just watch. First, we make a computer model of Fuzzy by punching up the proper coordinates.
You have to input the coordinates and these data points, and for some reason that makes a 3D model.
For how much force we need to pull the tooth.
Wow, that's really incredible, Scooter. What the
Even as a kid, I was
Tells
just
us
like,
the
this is
exact
not how
length of
computers
string
work.
to use and how hard we have to pull to get your tooth out.
This is just
It looks
technobabble.
right to me, but I think this number will be prettier over here. Don't you?
Fuzzy, don't touch that.
Scooter is a young
Yeah,
Chip Chase.
that's much better.
No, that's the formula for a turbocharged vacuum cleaner.
Hey, there's that sound again.
Fuzzy, don't
The
do that.
hate plague infection
Now you
sound.
turned it into the formula for a man-eating chocolate cake.
I did? Quick, Scooter, fix the formula. Fix it.
No, that's the equation for a self-propelled giant drill.
No kidding? Yay! It's after us.
No, it's
A weird design for this studio.
No way.
That almost looks like a Hanna-Barbera character right there.
Help! It's gonna get us!
not me. He's the one with the loose tooth. Get him.
Scooter betrays Fozzie. Yeah, the color grading keeps changing. I do think that this is a reassembly. Again, it's not bad. I'm happy that it's complete.
You okay, Fuzzy?
Oh, I think so. My tooth. It'll never come out.
Look at all the printer paper they wasted. Annie's gonna be very upset about that.
Oh.
And the chair.
Don't worry, Fuzzy. A little punk can help us get your tooth out.
Rolf, I thought you were Fuzzy's friend. You want to let some little punk punch
Ugh.
Fuzzy's tooth out?
No, not that kind.
That's a
of punk.
stretch for a
This
joke.
Kind. I know a song that's guaranteed to rattle your teeth.
Again, when you have to make a song for every single episode of the series, like most of them are going to be duds, and here we have another one. In fact, I really don't like Ralph in this series for that very reason. Because he's always the guy that's got to start the songs. Also, he's got just a really strange voice in general. I really loved Ralph, the real Ralph, from the actual Muppet Show, but not in Muppet Babies. He's my least favorite of the Muppet
Okay,
Babies.
everybody, I'm more the tooth fairy, and let's see if we can get to the root of this problem.
Ugh,
Everybody,
bad
up,
puns.
Going under the bridge. And now at Fuzzy's Muppet Grill, it's the Muppet Babies.
He said the name of the show.
Shake it out.
I wasn't sure if the Muppet Babies ever acknowledged themselves as the Muppets, but I guess they do.
If you're a little more than a little confused,
Why there's always talking about it.
Oh, please end.
kick off your shoes and get in the groove and do the loose tooth boogie. And do the loose tooth boogie.
Thank you.
Oh,
Ugh,
no use.
that was
Sorry, Fuzzy.
Yeah,
that was like
sorry,
getting your
Fuzzy.
teeth
We
drilled.
tried.
That song.
Knock it off, animal. This isn't funny.
Hey, that's the wrong direction.
I know. We need to get Fozzie an apple.
Gee, Piggy, what good is an apple gonna do?
Well, you know what they say. An apple a day keeps the dentist away. Apple my foot. What he
You tried,
needs is
Piggy.
a
That's what counts.
bazooka. Hey guys, Nanny's
Here comes
coming
Nanny.
back.
Hit the dirt.
What am I going to do, Kermit?
Relax, Fozzie. She probably couldn't get an appointment till next week.
Fuzzy, have
I got
good
bad news for you, Kermit. The
See?
show's only a half hour
Rick
long.
had a cancellation
which
in
means
his
that she got an
schedule,
appointment
so I got
right
you an
now.
appointment for today.
So we're leaving right now. Let's go. Animal.
Gee, I can't bear to think what's going to happen to poor Fozzie.
Oh, don't worry, Piggy. He'll survive. I hope.
Yeah, seeing the dentist can't be that bad. Are you kidding? They'll drill him full of so many holes he'll look like Swiss cheese. Gonzo?
The third act of this
What if
episode
Gonzo's right?
is full of just despair over what's happening to Fozzie.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome
It's
to
like
the
they're
game
more
show
worked up than
24.
Fozzie
Toast
even
for
was.
consequences. Our lucky contestant must answer questions correctly or get one of his teeth drilled. And here's our first challenger.
Get one of his
Fozzie
teeth
Bear.
drilled.
And now our champion for the last
I
4.
want to talk about drilling. He's probably just gonna have it yanked out. It's a baby tooth after all.
For your first question, Fozzie?
No.
In that case, here it is. Why did the chicken cross
Here's
the
another
road?
cheat. Like
Oh,
they're
I
in
know that
they're
one.
in Imagination Land right now,
Give me a minute.
and Fozzie's participating in it, but he's not there.
The road. Oh yeah! To get to the other side.
That is absolutely wrong.
What? But I've told that joke a million times.
There's one joke Fozzie
That's
knows.
right,
It's that
Fozzie.
one.
It is.
Sorry. The correct answer to why did the chicken cross the road is
To get away from the
his
pervert.
teeth. And now, Fozzie, it's time for
Roosters don't have
the
teeth.
drill. Open wide.
Oh no!
Fozzie!
Kermit, it's all right.
Oh, but gee, it's just I'm so worried about Fozzie.
Don't worry, he'll be okay. Sure, he'll be okay.
They seem to like they keep changing their position on things.
Good bear.
Like, oh my
Miss his
god.
Smiling face.
Hang on.
Not his jokes, but his face.
I can't stand thinking about it. Poor
Okay, I don't have
Fuzzy,
to answer
all
that.
alone with that great
This is what I
big
get for
dentist.
recording in the evening instead of at night.
Strapped into that chair?
With all those creepy instruments.
At last, I, Dr. Froggenstein, have created the perfect monster. Monster!
That's a really weird looking version of Animal.
Well, almost perfect.
If we can just find one more tooth, your monster will be complete.
So I'm running out of things to talk about, so
You're a genius, Nurse Piggo.
why don't we go back to the Little Muppet Monsters? So,
Just another pretty
like I was saying earlier, it was this weird experiment they did in season 2 where they added an extra half hour to Muppet Babies for like an actual Muppet segment with the real Muppet actors. And it wasn't up to Jim's standards, so he pulled it. But even so, it was still better than most of what was on at the time. But I knew that there had to be more episodes made. They just pulled the plug so quickly that we didn't get to see them all. And sure enough, the remainder of what was produced surfaced on YouTube some years ago. I think it's on this YouTube channel called I think it's called like Henson Rarities or something like that. And it's got what exists of episodes 4, 5, and 6. Just the live action segments, though, none of the animated segments. Although those have to exist too, because it takes a lot longer to produce animation. So I wonder if those have survived. I would be very interested to see some of that stuff. But I'm satisfied with what we have now. We have I think we have all 3 episodes of Little Muppet Monsters preserved, and at least some incarnation of the remaining 3 episodes that were produced up until that point.
Huh? Very soon, my tooth monster will be complete!
But the weird vestige of that was that
Wait a
even
minute.
after Little Muppet Monsters was canceled,
Really?
the ending theme, the credits theme,
Did I tell you
was the Little Muppet Monsters version all the way up until the cancellation of the show. And it was just like this weird vestige of this
Get out of here!
very brief experiment that they did
Follow that tooth.
in 1985 with having an extra segment on the show. And I don't think anyone had even mentioned it until
Open!
I brought it up on that one episode of Animation Aficionados.
I am Count
It
Gonzo.
was kind of, it was really forgotten. I'm serious, like I looked around the internet, I didn't find anyone that was even talking about it. There was maybe like a forum or two that mentioned, Little Muppet Monsters in passing, but like nobody remembered that the theme song was right there at the end of Muppet Babies for years.
That's better. We shouldn't let our imaginations run
And I
away
really
with
had to
us, should
dig
we?
to find the Little Muppet Monsters theme song for that
We can stay
episode
calm
too.
and quit worrying for an hour, can't we? You're right.
That was a weird,
Horrible.
They'll put
like the
all
wrong
this
person
You'll never
spoke.
be able to
I'm not sure
stop
what
us.
character that was supposed to be.
Poor Fozzie.
Poor Fozzie.
Officer Carruthers is like, they're being so quiet over there. Oh, I'm back,
Look, he's alive.
but the tooth isn't.
Fozzie, are you okay? What'd they do to you? It must have been horrible. The pain, the suffering. Tell us all about it.
Gosh, it didn't hurt a bit. And look, the dentist gave me a
Well,
balloon.
what did he
and a
do?
sugarless lollipop
Did he
for
pull the
being
tooth?
Such a good patient.
Lollipop.
balloon?
Huh?
Now they all want to go to the dentist.
Nanny, Nanny, my tooth hurts.
Mine too. Mine too. I want braces.
You know, we can just buy you balloons at the store, kids.
I got a loose tooth too, Nanny.
It's not worth
Hey,
taking
I
you
thought
all to the
frogs didn't
dentist for
have
that.
teeth.
Well, I won't tell if you won't.
You already did that, Joe Kermit.
We wanna go to the dentist. We wanna go to the dentist.
And that's that. Anyway, thank you for listening to the podcast. I'll see if I can put like a video version of this online somewhere. I don't want to use YouTube just because I think the copyright police will come after me for that. So maybe if BitChute can have like a unlisted video, I'll put it up there. Anyway, that's the Big Bad Movie Show, and I'm signing out.